What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd. I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Hagrit. His opponent today in the blue color playing as Mage. His name is Ra. No, that's not right. Hang on. Playing as Ra, his name is Mage. Mage is actually a new god, you see. It's just off the chopping block. The modders have been hard at work to make this new fine god. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm just speaking correctly is a difficult thing for me, and that's life. So we have Ra against Poseidon. The map is Ghost Lake. This is a best of 3 series for the Challengers League. Both of these players sitting at the top of their group. They're fighting for that coveted first spot. It's actually quite an important spot to get for the Challengers League, because if you want to have a chance to get into the Champions League for next season, you have to take out a champion to get there. But in this season, we've actually had a dropout in the Champions League, which does mean the victor of the top of the 2 Challengers League divisions who play each other for the in the playoffs, in the relegations, the victor of that gets an automatic spot in next season, which is very, very cool for them. So getting that top spot is very important, whereas the person who comes second in the group will have to fight against, say, potentially like the 7th seed or the 7th spot of the playoffs. Of the Champions League, I should say, and those champions, if you've been watching the games, the players who are at the bottom of the ladder there are no pushovers. They're all incredibly strong players, and you got to be very, very careful and play incredibly well to take games of them. Now, Hagrid over here, he's gone for the 3 wood, 2 gold. Looks like 5 villagers on the berry bushes. He did not find his Auroch, which is very unfortunate, but neither did Mage over here, who's left his Auroch over here. He's actually eating berries. He's doing a huntless build order. You can see he's got husbandry first. He's found quite a few goat, though, so this actually works out quite nicely for the Ra. However, in not eating his hunt, what that means is that the lure will grab it if he can kill this hunt before it runs away. It looks like he's almost done. It's a little bit of inefficiency, but he will be able to grab a little bit more from elsewhere, so totally fine there. Found some relics on the map over here. We do have the Oseberg wagon, a must grab against Ra. If the Ra player gets this relic, they're going to be a happy camper, because not only do they get the extra bonus from rain to get all that food in, and then they pay like 25 less food for the caravan cost, which is huge. Now, this is the difference between a Ra scouting and anyone else scouting. This is 17 goats. Absolutely crazy compared to the 10 goats that Mage had. So we'll see if that comes into play a little bit later. Obviously, going to be stealing a goat here as well. Obviously, Mage will have his farms up and his rain up, and he won't have to worry too much about the food. But after the rain is gone, those farms do not become better. They actually become worse, funnily enough. So we'll see what happens. This is a 1 gold mine spawn here on this map, which is actually quite difficult for the Ra players to play. This map is one of those hit or miss maps for the Egyptian players, and the reason for that is this gold mine here. If you get 2 gold mines, it's a very difficult map to beat the Egyptian players on. If you get only 1 gold mine, it starts becoming a much nicer time, because not only is this town center very, very difficult to get, if we check out his other town center, it's also over here. So both these town centers, incredibly bad, and neither of them secure a gold mine, for example. Now, the golds are very equal here. They have 4 golds on both sides, or 2 golds on both sides of the map. However, the distance between each of these gold mines is really not that far, so it's very easy to get gold stars on this map. So we'll see if Hagrid's got something in plan here. He is possibly the only, maybe there's one other player playing random. He's one of the only players who plays random gods, and seriously plays random gods, and plays all the gods at a fairly decent level. So we'll see how in depth he knows these civilizations. Oftentimes, random god players often, like, they know the basics of every god, but they don't know the very intricacies of each of the matchups, because there's 12 matchups, and then if you play all 12 gods, then you have 144 matchups, right? Is my math good? I don't know. plus the obviously have the mirror matchups as well. So you got to know them all very, very. Very, very, very much detail to do so. We do see that Hagrit's going for an immediate second town center here. This is very standard in this matchup. What happens after this town center is what's going to tell the tale here. He needs to figure out what he's going to do. He's getting his Apolter out, he's getting a Theseus out straight away, so very much correct here. Mage going for this town center though. Does Mage have a box? There's no box in Mage's base. One of the things that Ra does very nicely against Greek, and the reason why Ra is a strong god pick against Greek as opposed to say an Isis, is the shifting sands onto these two initial heroes, and you need to build a box against them. We do see a semi box that could be formed very fast here, but you need to build a box against the Greek players as Ra to shifting sands those initial heroes. But the priest is empowering this. This one's going up very, very fast. The Centaur and the Wadge are going at each other here. Centaur trying to get pulled back to come in and deal some damage as Hippolyta is coming over, and it's just looking like Hagrit just a little bit too late here. He may be able to slow this down just a little bit. We do see the priest moving away. The town center getting awfully close. 2,500 here. Going to try and snipe a villager while this is going up, but Mage just going to be putting them back in nice and safely. Speaking of this gold mine here now, it may be a difficult spot for Hagrid to control. Just because it's close to this town center, you may see some mercenary getting pumped out, plus maybe some walls that get up, but no usage of the shifting sands onto those heroes. So he's going to be able to control this a little bit here. We do see the farms now coming up for Mage, so his build order was not hindered all too much. We do see Hagrid moving these goats around like this. You do this against tar players because you can shifting sands those goats away if you run your Pharaoh in, but generally speaking, Ra does not do that. We do see a very forward stable here from Hagrid, getting very, very aggressive. There's the rain from Mage, so he's going for a fast heroic here. It looks like no barracks down at all. There's Tower of Cestus here as well, and Hagrid's going to start pumping those Hippocon out. If we check out his resources, sitting a little bit above what he should be. He should be spending those resources on something. He may just decide to go straight to the heroic age here, off of the two town centers as well as an option. He's built one farm just to do that, and moving his goat over to this location to start doing that. A fast heroic from Poseidon isn't the worst thing, as opposed to say with Zeus, where you fast heroic and maybe go through Apollo. And when you don't get much from that immediately, with Poseidon, if you fast heroic, you can get out that curse, which is immediate damage done. And then not only that, if you've got your stables down already, you can build out Prodromus to deal with those what are they called? Camels or camelry, and deal with them really nicely. The issue lies in that if the Ra player spots this and they just go very hard onto wood and spam out chariot archers, the Prodromus don't do so well. So it ends up being that the Greek player will have to go for Hippocon anyways. And I do find that in general, if you can get out heavy Hippocon, your army does completely fine, and you're not going to need them out until maybe 10 minutes, 11 minutes. So if you make a little bit of Hippocon from one stable and you keep going, and you'll be totally fine. But we do see the armory's up. He's got an archery range as well, pumping out the villagers, and we've got Hathor coming. Ooh, and Mage not 100% aware of how this bowsaw here works. Getting the bowsaw, he's going through Hathor. It's a nice advanced time here, a little bit late. Normally 8:30 is what you want, but 8:45 is totally fine as well. We do see the Migdol stronghold going down, and Hagrit is not going to be pleased about this one here at all. This Migdol stronghold does defend this gold mine. The Hippolyta can do some stuff, but once the chariot archers start coming out, it's going to be huge. And with, what's this, 7 villagers here on wood, that's a good amount to start building camelry. Probably got a lot of food in the bank here. He's got a lot of resources in the bank, so he's just going to spam both of those units as fast as he can. But Sukos needs to get in that rock and start going around and raiding here. With the heroes being so out of position, you get some big raids on dropping here. We do see the watchtowers up though to prevent that, so that's actually some nice play from Hagrit. Some nice what's the word? No, it's not coming. It's not coming to me at all. And Hagrid says, "Lol." Didn't even stop the Migdol, and that's on you for not being there. But that's good for Mage here. But it's not necessarily the end of the game here. The stable's still very far forward. Hagrid's still trying to pump some units out, but he's actually struggling quite a bit right now. And we do see the Catascopus over here on this gold mine as well, going to spot these villagers coming out, but Hagrid's got no units to send that way just yet. Now the rock. coming in. There's not really anything to locust just yet. Maybe you could locust the wood villages here, but nothing else to really be done here. And the cavalry chasing these guys away for the time being. And we do see Hagrit just going to be eyeing off this gold mine. He can come over and hit this, but deciding against it. 3 town centers here for Mage. This is awfully greedy here. We'll see if it works for him. He's got a lot of, obviously has a lot of resources. And he's actually got a good amount of army here to prevent Hagrit from securing this location. The one cavalry does get sniped, so nice play here. Hippocon trying to pick off the town center, but cavalry do really, really well against these unupgraded Hippocon. They basically, well, if you look at them, they've got a little bit less damage, have a little bit more HP, but they also have a bonus of 75% damage to cavalry. And they have a touch more armor as well. There's the Dionysus for Hagrit. That's a very interesting decision to say the very least. Normally when we see Dionysus from Poseidon players, it's after they've spammed out quite a few Hippocon, because then they can go for a strong timing push with the bronze, plus Bacchanalia and the heavy cavalry. But this is way too early for Dionysus. Surprised we didn't see Aphrodite. Not only that, the Hydra not quite as good as the Nemean Lion to spam because it costs food basically. And we're actually going to be coming into a time here where it's looking like Hagrit may be under some pressure where he might get gold staffed by the Ra player here, as the Ra player is just pumping units out that Hagrit's just not going to be able to deal with. Nice marker from Hagrit to save these heroes on these villages for the time being as the units running in. We do see the marker coming up, so Hagrit is looking like he's doing some sort of semi-fast mythic here, possibly rushing for Artemis to earthquake this location, but I'm not sure what he can hit. He can hit this and be okay. There's the Locust Swarm. Picks off 5 villages with it. Ish. Maybe a couple more. It's a pretty strong Locust, but there's a lot of units getting picked off here. Trying to put a Ghost Building down. Not going to be able to get it up just yet as they're running away now. That's a good victory for both players there. Mage getting a lot of villager kills, but Hagrit slowing down the army of Mage here, so no craziness is going to be happening here. The Hydra I'm very sorry about that. I had Facebook open. What a rookie move. Very sorry. Okay, so Artemis is on the way now for Hagrit. He needs to consider putting a bunch of villagers onto favor and spamming Chimera here, because Mage he's gone 3 town centers and he's not actually going to be that far behind on tech. Ooh, he's making camel caravans though. I don't like the camel caravans. I feel like if Mage just prioritized like a semi-fast mythic here himself, getting through Osiris would deal with this very nicely. But if we check out his resources here, Mage has got a ton of wood. You hate to see it. You shouldn't have that much wood at all. But he does have a ton of wood right now. And now Hagrit's moving forward. He does have an earthquake to use on this location. We have crenellations out. We've got fortified town center. Hagrit turning back again. He's getting out Sacred Charge and Artemis. Sacred Charge is one of those technologies that seems good on paper. It's basically it's almost good. If the speed was HP instead of speed, it would be basically like another line upgrade. But it's a little bit different. It allows your cavalry to dodge arrows a little bit better, but it doesn't give them any extra HP. And there's the Artemis. The Chimera pops out. We do see the Prodromus moving in here. Going to attempt to get onto this location, but it does get sniped before it can get in there. There's the Earthquake, though. Going to be attempting to take everything down. Town Center will be picked off here by Hagrit. We do see a mercenary cavalry trying to get produced there by Mage for some reason, but this does open up this location to being attacked here. Then let's check out the population for Mage. He's sitting at 133 of 120 with a lot of food in the bank. The wood in the bank was spent as well. Now some villagers getting picked off as Hagrit is moving forward. He does have a ceasefire as well if he wants to move forward and sneak this town center underneath the safety of ceasefire. He can also grab that back town center behind this as well if he has the resources, but it does look like he's spamming those out quite fast. Do we see anything. There's the Age 4 for Mage, which will allow him to defend against this very nicely. We just have this Hydra starting to pick off quite a few units here, doing 40 damage with 2 heads. Going to go up to 3 heads, doing 60 damage now. Going to be able to get up to 4 heads if he kills off this next one. It's like, I'm not sure if it's like a chance thing. There's 4 heads, so it's doing 80 damage. This Hydra is an absolute beast right now. Chimera in here as well can get off the special ability to deal a bunch of damage over here. We do see that the Pharaoh gets turned into a Son of Osiris right now to pick off that Chimera. And meanwhile, these camel caravans that are running through here all getting sniped. And the Hydra actually going to go up to even more heads if we can get up or go up to his final 5th head if he can pick off another one of these camels. But the mummy's coming in here, and Hagrit needs to run away from that one, or the mummy will pick that one off. We do see the villagers coming back over onto this town center to pick it up right now, and Hagrit is in a decent position. And now we see his Hydra get sniped there by the mummy. Super unfortunate. He did a lot of damage. He got a lot of value, to be honest. And there's a shifting sands from Mage, but it only takes 1 Theseus there, as Hagrid is trying to push in here and pick off as many villagers as he possibly can. But the Son of Osiris in the back here, 60 hack damage. I talked about it once, I'll talk about it again. One of the few units in the game that does ranged hack damage. So this Hippocon here, only 37% under the Pierce Armor, only 40% under the Toxotes, only 10% for the hack armor and 15% for the hack armor. So the Son of Osiris completely obliterates these units. We do see a stray Hippocon getting a couple of hits onto the Son of Osiris, which is always good. You need to do as much damage as you possibly can. Now Hagrid needs to think about getting this 3rd town center and sorting his economy out. We do have some heavy spearman raids coming in right now onto these gold villages. Hagrid has not got the walls up that he needs. I like this wall here, but he could have walled off this section as well to prevent these raids. But now Hagrid's not paying attention to that, as he's still pushing forward here. The Son of Osiris coming in as well. Hagrid's still not reacting to this raid. This is so many dead villagers here, and Hagrid's going to notice this at some point. He has to. Otherwise, it's just going to be lights out, as Mage is going to just completely recover from any of this pressure that's going on, and still not moving the villagers, but retreating his army here. And there we go, finally retreating. You can see all the dead villagers there that these spearmen managed to get. Really nice raid there from Mage, hitting him while he was getting attacked. Always a very smart move there. And there's the heavy Hippocon coming through for Hagrid, who has retreated here. We do see some spearmen pushing through at this point, but remember, these are not going to be Horus spearmen in this game. So the heavy Hippocon, if you can get out, what's it called? Bacchanalia? Is that what it's called? I always forget what it's called. Thracian horses, and Bacchanalia is the HP. You get out Thracian horses, then these spearmen stop being so scary. They do like an extra 10% damage, I think, against cavalry. Yeah, a 10% extra damage. But once you get Thracian horses out, the spearmen don't actually counter the Hippocon anymore. You actually have to. The only way to counter those fully upgraded Hippocon is to get out the towers with crenellations. Basically, we do see the bolter coming in to try and snipe the rock. If he can kill the rock, he does kill the Son of Osiris. But that was very, very close there. 63 HP rock, and he's got to be careful about this one here. It does not drop the Son of Osiris down when the rock dies. It just loses it. That was awfully close. And now Catapult coming in, going to attempt to push through here. But Hagrid's in a decent position. We see another raid coming in onto this location. Nice wall set up here by these villagers on this location here, but it doesn't quite do it. There's a little gap there. Town Center going to help out. We do see more villagers getting built now for Hagrid, who's still trying to push through here, trying to pick off that rock with the Politar, but does not quite get it. There it goes down. But now Hagrid's still pushing back. He's sitting at 106 of 160 population here with very little gold in the bank. He's had a lot of value in this game with his pickoffs, but his economy is struggling here, and he's not producing from every building. And this could be a really huge push that's coming in for Mage. And Hagrid decides to not endure it and instead tap out. GG. Well played by Mage. Really nice hold over here from that Earthquake. I honestly think that that this strategy here made it almost didn't make a whole lot of sense with this town center being here, because unless you could have prevented the town center from going up, like if this was all you had to worry about, then the earthquake on this location would have been huge. But with this location as well, sort of semi-securing this gold mine, it means you can't just earthquake here. I mean, you could have earthquaked here. I don't know if it would have killed everything, but a super interesting game. I think I would have liked to see Hagrit go for maybe like a stronger heroic age timing with those Thracian horses early instead of the earthquake. But Mage played it really nicely, really solid mythic age, really nice pushes, nice raids over here with the spearmen. Maybe if the spearmen didn't hit this location, Hagrit would have been fine to continue in this game, but because he lost out on that, there was no gold to reproduce his army, and he just could not take that win there. So first game goes to Mage. We'll move on to game number 2 very shortly. If you're enjoying these games, please consider hitting the follow button on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, do consider hitting the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.